Dracula!
What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Alright, guys, got some more Warhammer. This looked interesting. Alright, this is from Major Kill, of course, because he's like the only one who does anything, Warhammer-y. That isn't just, people standing around just... Well, I mean, yeah, he's standing around talking, but he actually, covers specific subjects, and he's a little bit more concise. Anyway, this is the Omnissiah explained by an Australian, alright? So this looked interesting, because I know there's a lot of things about that, Some say it's the Emperor, some say it's that, I don't know, red dragon or something at the center of Mars or whatever, that's the Omnissiah, whatever. But, the Mechanicus are technically a bunch of morons, but anyway, let's get started and go.
Over the various potential Omnissiahs, talking about why or why not they are the true Omnissiah, as well as how the Omnissiah came into being. We'll also go over some of its capabilities and power. Let's get into it.
I think they're all right.
The modern day Mechanicus, as well as the Mechanicum prior to the Horus Heresy, saw the Emperor as the Omnissiah, not an avatar of the Omnissiah himself. This is why Mars has been so helpful to the Imperium and supplies most of their weapons, ammunition, vehicles, and starships. Even Space Marine gene seed mostly comes from the Mechanicus. This makes sense. After all, if your perceived god asks you to do something, you'd probably do it without question. So why is the Emperor considered
you would
to be
think so,
god?
but human history
After
says
all,
the exact
he obviously
opposite.
favors Terra over Mars and doesn't look like a giant mechanical hentai monster.
Yeah.
Basically, the Emperor came to Mars at the dawn of the Imperium of Mankind and made it rain, which was hectic because it was Mars. Not exactly known for rainy days. He then pulled the good old water to wine trick Jesus did, that fucking party animal, except instead of getting everyone absolutely hammered, he healed machinery just by touch. I shit you not, he literally said, "Machine, heal thyself," whilst resting a hand on it. It's funny because he probably could have healed it from like 100 kilometers away without saying anything, but it wouldn't allow him to flex on the Mechanicum like that.
It wouldn't have looked as cool.
His favorite cum-guzzling toaster, he signed an agreement with them called the Treaty of Olympus. Mars would be his to command as their god, however, he had to basically turn a blind eye to the fact that they now worshipped him, despite him creating a secular and highly atheist Imperium. The Martian's logic is that as he was a mega genius, could fix any machine, and build absolute wonders, nobody else could be the Omnissiah. Can't really fault that, to be honest. So this explains why does Mars break its balls for the Imperium when the Imperium doesn't give a whole lot more back in comparison? That's the official Cult Mechanicus' stance. What about the Dark Mechanicum? After all, the Schism of Mars was a thing where a shitload of tech priests rejected the Emperor as the Omnissiah and declared him as a false god. Ironically, they were correct, but not for the right reasons. To clarify, the Dark Mechanicum mostly also worship the Omnissiah in their own way. However, it's a bit more complex than that. Unlike the Loyalist Mechanicus, which is organized and has chains of command and culture, the Dark Mechanicum are loosely connected factions of tech priests who have absolutely zero ethical boundaries with their experiments. Some are reasonably indistinguishable.
And that's saying something because the Mechanicus doesn't really either.
Such as Deltrian, the tech priest assigned to a Night Lord warband. Others are fried out of their minds, shoving demons in tanks for a laugh, whilst tasering their chrome nipples with a Tesla car battery.
What the
shit? Because of this, some worship the Omnissiah but don't believe the Emperor is him, whilst others worship the Chaos Gods and have moved on from their belief in the Machine God. So what's the truth? Who is the Omnissiah? Well, here is where the video gets really fucking heretical. The Emperor knew a lot about a lot, but he didn't know everything, nor did Terra have all the resources he needed for a galactic crusade. He knew he needed a society of advanced techno-sluts to build the weapons, ships, and war machines he needed for his
So he scammed them.
As such, thousands of years before the dawn of the Imperium, the exact timing is a bit sketchy, he discovered a massive wounded shard of the Void Dragon in the Sol system.
There you go, the Void Dragon.
This Void Dragon shard had been in hiding since the War in Heaven, where it was cum-blasted by Vol's Blackstone fortresses. This galactic Death Star mega spam knocked numerous shards off the Void Dragon, which the Necrons captured. However, the remaining large chunk of the Void Dragon was able to flee. The Emperor engaged the Void Dragon in combat and defeated it. Not entirely clear how, but it was probably a combo of ambush, Batman levels of pre-planning, overwhelming psychic might, and a thumb up its bum. Thumbing any kind of lizard is usually a good way to get the upper hand. Excuse the pun. With the Void Dragon in a coma, the Emperor took it to Mars and locked it deep beneath the surface in a vault called the Noctis Labyrinth. assigning a guardian to ensure no one discovered its existence or tried to free it or wake it up. Why did he do this? I mean, beyond the obvious reason of knocking out a literal god who would fuck up your planet if given the chance. To answer, the Void Dragon, despite his appearance, was a technological genius, able to build and invent the most impressive technology in the galaxy. A lot of cool tech that Necrons use likely came from the Void Dragon. As such, the sleeping Void Dragon's consciousness flowed up and soaked the minds of the people of Mars, dramatically accelerating their scientific and technological evolution. After all, the Mechanicus didn't just randomly get techie and mechanical after the Dark Age of technology, they were like that from very early on. The Void Dragon's influence is what allowed Mars to survive the Age of Strife mostly intact. You know, if you don't worry about the fact that they destroyed their entire planet's biosphere. They don't really seem too cut about that.
Which is weird, considering Mars didn't have a biosphere, then it did, then it didn't.
Their technological edge is why they came up with the concept of the machine god to begin with. As they weren't aware that this knowledge came from a Catan god, they made up their own god in its stead. If the Emperor never put the Void Dragon under Mars, then Mars wouldn't have had its technological acceleration, hence no ships, weapons, or machines of war equals no Great Crusade. All the Emperor had to do was
so he was planning ahead
and show up as Mecha Jesus at the right moment to fill the hole that was in the heart of the Mechanicum. Quick note, I keep swapping between Mechanicum and Mechanicus because the Mechanicum was the pre-Horus Heresy, and then post-Horus Heresy, they became the Mechanicus. So there's your fun little fact for the day. By the Emperor manipulating an entire culture into eventually tricking them into praising him as their god, he created something called the Great Lie. A lie that if it was uncovered, would result in a civil
extremely hypocritical of him.
Dooming mankind and ruining everything. So it's pretty important this stays hush-hush, don't tell anyone. After all, the Mechanicus considers xenotech to be heresy, despite their very hypocritical approach to it. I mean, just look at how horny the Marzi boys get when they find a Necron tomb world. So if they found out that a Xeno god was also their god, yeah, awkward. Fortunately, next to nobody knows about the Void Dragon's existence. A select few Martians, the Guardian who protects the Noctis Labyrinth, and yeah, not sure who else. Malkador probably did, but he's a jar of dust now. So is the Void Dragon the Omnissiah, the machine god? Well, it really depends on your interpretation. After all, the Emperor created the required conditions for the Mechanicus to emerge, simply using the Void Dragon as a tool. Here, think about it like
the people as a tool.
If something's god is defined by the fact that that something created it, then wouldn't a table's god be the carpenter who made it, despite the fact that he relied on a hammer to create the table? The table wouldn't praise the hammer, the table would praise the carpenter. In a similar vein, wouldn't the Emperor be the rightful god of the Mechanicus, as he was the one who created it? The Void Dragon wasn't going to fucking do it, nor would a hammer get up and bang a table together by itself. Let's throw another spanner in the works. One of the last living men of iron in the setting, UR-025, taunts a tech priest before killing him, saying that the God Emperor is not the Omnissiah, and that the real Omnissiah would be disappointed with the servants of Mars. Seems pretty clear here that UR-025, a true AI that is thousands of years old, sees the Void Dragon as its god rather than the Emperor. It makes sense that the Void Dragon would be disappointed. The Void Dragon created reality-bending superweapons and unkillable mechanical soldiers. On the other hand, the Mechanicus rely on recovered blueprints to create technology, and refuse to innovate or invent. If we put our tinfoil conspiracy hats on, it could have even have been the subconscious urging of the Void Dragon that caused the Men of Iron to rise up against their human overlords before the age of the Imperium. So all in all, to be honest, it really depends on how you interpret gods when you decide if the Void Dragon or the Emperor is the true Omnissiah. Both options have valid points, but you can definitely see why there would be a bit of a unfriendly debate if the truth ever came out. Either way, without the Emperor, there is
numerous
no
civil wars.
Without the Void Dragon, there is no Mechanicus.
Like the
wait, I figured it out.
The Dorian Taco
Heresy. The living embodiment of the machine god, whilst the Void Dragon is the machine god itself. Bing bong bam, I'm a fucking genius. I just solved religious war. If you enjoyed the video and you want to...
Okay. So, none of his advertising shilling his schmentai. Anyway, so there you go. That was interesting. I do like hearing a little bit about the war, but then you realize just how stupid really the Emperor is. It makes you wonder, like, my God, how is the Imperium even existing? Like, at all. You know? I mean, because, like, people aren't usually that controllable, and they're way too controlled in Warhammer 40k, you know? It just seems weird. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like this video, subscribe. If you enjoyed it, also click on the link to the original down in the description. Get down to Major Kill's channel. Like the original, sub to him. I will see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content. Bye-bye.